Good evening, everybody. Welcome to 49ers Live tonight here at Pete's Coffee here in San Francisco. Hope you enjoying your Tuesday here in the world's greatest city, San Francisco. The home of Super Bowl 60 will be here in the Bay Area a little more than a month from now as 49ers getting back, enjoying their off day. This is their regular, normal off day. Their normal off day as they'll prepare to take on the will be get back to work tomorrow to take on their first step. They'll take on the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles. They'll take on the Philadelphia Eagles to start their title defense on Sunday at Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. The kickoff time will be at 1:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and that game will be on Fox Sports. Tom Brady and Kevin Burkhardt, Tom Brady with the call, and then also calling on the NINERS Radio Network. Guy Haberman and Tim Ryan will be doing the action. Unfortunately, Greg Papa will not be able to attend the trip to Philadelphia. He will. As he continues the battle with his leukemia, hopefully he'll be back. Hopefully, if the Niners get to Super Bowl 60, he will be back with the team then. But taking a look at some of the Niners news for the day, a lot more news coming out today. Another head coach has given his walking papers. That, of course, former 49ers head coach Jim Harbaugh's brother John. They have decided to part ways after he had been with the franchise for more than a very long time, for 18 seasons. So nearly 2 decades. They had some great success in Baltimore. So they are going through a mutualing of parting ways, and so. We'll take a look at what's going on with the 49ers news and notes. Niners will be taking on a familiar foe as they're going to be traveling cross-continent to take on the Philadelphia Eagles. Reminder, San Francisco Bay Area Super Bowl, place a priority access discount for Super Bowl 60 coming to the Bay. As the 49er faithful, as we look at some of the news and notes, Christian McCaffrey, despite scoring the fewest points all year, the unit finished with 379 total first downs, the third most in a single season. Christian McCaffrey also reached some career milestones of 2 players that will someday get their bust in the Pro Football Hall of Fame in Canton, Ohio. So we will with 9 first downs, 1 rushing touchdown, 8 receiving. The 49ers offense reached 379 total first downs and 119 rushing, 237, 13 penalty, 379 total first downs in season, the 3rd most in a single season in franchise history. The unit's 237 passing first downs are the most in a single season in franchise history. So, and then Christian McCaffrey registered 8 carries for a team high 200 for 23 yards with 6 receptions, 34 for the night. With 6 receptions of the night, McCaffrey now has tallied 226 receptions for his career. He passes LaDainian Tomlinson for the 3rd most by a running back in NFL history. With 6 receptions, McCaffrey finishes the season with 102 receptions. And make the first running back with at least 100 receptions in 3 career seasons, with 117 in 2018, 116 in 2019. He owns top 3 most receptions by a season by a running back. He also became the first 49er to record 100 or more receptions since Hall of Famer Terrell Owens did that back 23 years ago. McCaffrey's 34 receiving yards on the night gave him 924 receiving yards, make the 2nd time of his career 900 or more receiving yards with 1,005 receiving yards in 2019 with the Panthers. He also had 900 receiving yards 2 seasons with 8 catches and 6 receptions, 413 total touches, 413 extended for the most, 57 yards from scrimmage on the night. He reached 2,126 yards from scrimmage of the season. His 2,201 yards from scrimmage is the 2nd most in franchise history. George Kittle had tallied 29 yards of the night. He has 5 receptions. Kittle reached 595 receptions of his career, so he now needs 5 more receptions to get to 600, surpassing Terrell Owens for the 2nd most by any player in franchise history. And then Taylor Bethune, before, of course, he's now out for the playoffs with that torn groin. 7 tackles, 1 sack. Sam Akinua, 1 sack. Sam Darnold making his 3rd sack of the season with 6.5 of his career. Kicker Eddie Pinheiro converted his lone field goal attempt and 48 yards. Pinheiro finishes 28 of 29 field goal attempts, 96.6%, and his 96.6% field goal percentage is 2nd highest in a single season mark in franchise history. So, congratulations to Eddie Pinheiro as so now as that is focused in now, they're now heading and looking towards getting ready for Philadelphia, for the Philadelphia Eagles. Of course, you check us out on youtube.com/@NinersRadio49. Click the subscribe button as we're trying to continue to build this thing. That was taken from yesterday's press conference down in Santa Clara. We're going to take this quick timeout, a little bit of a timeout, and we'll be right back in a few moments' time. I'm Brian Professor B. Davis here at Pete's Coffee here in San Francisco. You're watching 49ers Live tonight, the NFL playoff edition with yours truly, Professor Pete, on Niners Radio 49. We'll be right back. Welcome back to 49ers Live tonight. Professor B here at Peach Coffee here in San Francisco. We are going to go straight into NFL news. A lot of the news going around the NFL. Another busy day. Black Monday was yesterday. A lot of head coaches getting fired. Another one, Jim Harbaugh. They have decided to. They end up deciding to part ways with John Harbaugh as head coach after he'd been there for 18 seasons. The Baltimore Ravens misses out on the playoffs, and a tough team, a tough way for the Ravens to come to an end, season to come to end for the Ravens. This is a team who had aspirations to go to the Super Bowl, but they have had a lot of near misses. This was a team, of course. So now you look at the coaches who've just been fired within the last 24 hours, and today that's 4 head coaches have been fired. 4 head coaches have been fired, and plus, today was John Harbaugh. They've parted ways with him. Jonathan Gannon was let go by the Cardinals after they started 2-0. They end up losing 14 of their last 15 games, including a 9-game losing streak to end the year. They lose. And then the Falcons, of course, firing both Raheem Morris and their general manager, Terry Fontenot. Chris Greer got fired early in the year. And you're looking at a lot of the coaching tree. For the Titans, Vance Joseph's going to get an interview. Lou Armorento for the Colts. Steve Spagnuolo, Matt Nagy, Kevin Clint Kubiak, Dolphins defensive Anthony Weaver, Kevin Stefanski, the Giants, Stefanski could be a candidate, Vance Joseph, and then Vance Joseph, Clint Kubiak, and then a lot of general managers as well. Niners assistant GM R.J. Gilliam, VP of player personnel Tariq Ahmad, Williams director of scouting, football operations Josh Williams, Packers VP, Rams GM John McKay, assistant GM John McKay, Chargers assistant Chad Alexander, Bears assistant Ian Cunningham. And then some coordinators also got let go. The Lions also have fired offensive coordinator John Morton. Cliff Kingsbury, the Commanders, they have parted ways. Joe Witt is also out of there as defensive coordinator. Dallas Cowboys fired their defensive coordinator, Matt Eberflus. And then Mike McDaniel most likely will be back with the Dolphins in 26, depending on what the new general manager wants. And then Pete Carroll was one and done in one season. A lot going on, a lot of news. So, but John Morton getting let go. All right, I apologize for that technical difficulty. We're right back on the air. The big news, and it was really not surprised, John Harbaugh, that they're going to part ways with him. So but the Ravens did underperform this year, missing the playoffs in the final week of the season. And so Harbaugh has been let go after 18 seasons as Baltimore coach, one of the league's most disappointing teams this season. They went Super Bowl favorites. Baltimore ended the season with a missed last-second field goal, allowing Pittsburgh to hold a 26-24 victory to decide the AFC North title. This was an incredible, difficult situation, given the tremendous 18 years we spent together. I have a lot of respect for John, most importantly, great man, integrity, Steve Biscotti, and statement throughout. I firmly believe that is a Hall of Fame coaching career. John delivered a Super Bowl championship to Baltimore and served as a steadfast pillar for humility of leadership. Harbaugh went 193 and 124, including the postseason. He led the 2012 Ravens to a Super Bowl title and reached the AFC Championship game on 3 occasions. This is a season was only just the 6th time the Ravens have missed the playoffs under Harbaugh, the same number of times the Ravens have won the AFC North with him at the helm. But most of Baltimore's postseason success came in the first few seasons. The Ravens went to the AFC title game 3 times in his first 5 years, culminating to their first Super Bowl title as a wild card, when Harbaugh beat his brother Jim as a 49ers for the title. At that point, Harbaugh was 9-4 in postseason, but after that, he was just 4-7 in 3 straight seasons without a playoff berth. Lamar Jackson arrived in 2018, led Baltimore to a division title, but Harbaugh's lone trip to the AFC title game with Jackson was wasted 2 seasons ago when Baltimore lost at home to the Chiefs. Another quote says, well, I was hoping for a different kind of message on the last day, but it has come to the day. Harbaugh said it comes to disappointment and certainty, but more of gratitude, appreciation. Gratitude towards the ownership, and the organization was willing to bring in a head coach who made his mark with his special teams success. A difficult thing to appreciate the moments in these years, etched in eternity. The season was a mess pretty much. Baltimore looked great for much of the opener with Buffalo before blowing late lead, indeed squandering significant advantages to become a troubling trend for the Ravens. For Harbaugh's in the last few seasons, the Ravens have blown 10 double-digit leads in the second half of the last 6 seasons. No other team has done that more 7 times. After a hamstring injury for Jackson, Baltimore went 1-5. Harbaugh and the Ravens worked their way back in contention. Week Sunday's winner-take-all matchup for the favorite to beat the Steelers, but despite Derrick Henry's early dominance on the ground, Jackson's sensational fourth quarter, another exclusionary fashion. If this is departure of the law, which is not necessarily clear, then the missed kick could have quite have a domino effect throughout the league. If he wants to coach next season, Harbaugh may as well saw up after person on the market, and Baltimore's job might be the best available for short-term possibilities. Jackson at quarterback and the organization's reputation for stability. Of course, Harbaugh is a big part of that stability. He's been the coach for over a half of the Ravens' existence. When Baltimore had to make the change on the staff often, Mike McDonald was a good defensive coordinator in 2023. Became Seattle's head coach. Todd Monken took over as offensive coordinator in 23. Jackson immediately won his second MVP. Now the Ravens are in the middle of a shakeup. It wasn't hard to see this coming, how much of an underperform this season, plus what seemed possibly a disconnect with Jackson, and it's hard to tell what star quarterback. Harbaugh's optimistic topic didn't come to fruition. Week 18, first time since early November that Jackson had a full week of practice. Harbaugh said late in the season an A-plus relationship with Jackson. Jackson said he wanted to be in Baltimore. So that's just a sad thing, such a sad thing, John Harbaugh, great coach. They're parting ways through the divorce proceedings, and these things do happen. Harbaugh had been there for nearly 2 decades, had great success, beat the 49ers in Super Bowl 47. They had the best. Like 6 years ago, they had the best record in the NFL, 14-2. Were the clear-as-on favorite to go all the way to the Super Bowl, and then they ran into their buzzsaw, to their longtime nemesis, their longtime rival, postseason nemesis, the Tennessee Titans, who were once upon a time rivals, going back to their days in the AFC Central, end up upsetting the Baltimore Ravens into the divisional playoff in Baltimore, the Titans, who end up, and we don't know. I think the Ravens franchise now in a state of uncertainty with the head coaching. That could be coming with a transitional. The question is the Ravens window is starting to close, and who knows, it could be. But there's a lot to be said. So the Ravens be looking for a new head coach. And then the Cleveland Browns, of course, they dismissed Kevin Stefanski yesterday, and Jonathan Gannon for the Cardinals have been let go. The Browns, so, we'll get into more of that. We'll try to get some more people for an expert, bring a perspective of the NFL coaching, vacant positions, and so much more. So, other news around college football. Michigan football coach Sharon Moore fired. So that's how it is. We're gonna right, so we take a look at the coming up the BCS playoff championships. So the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl will be coming up on Thursday night. That will be Thursday night. It will be Ole Miss versus Miami. That will be a 4:30 game on ESPN. That will be Thursday night. The Fiesta Bowl down in, and then fifth-seeded Oregon takes on Indiana. And then the national championship game will be in Miami on January 19th. And people feel they got Miami as one of the favorites in that game. So we are going to get ready to wrap it up here on NINERS Radio 49. We'd like to thank you all for watching tonight. I'd like to thank you for all watching tonight. And tonight that the 49ers take on the Eagles for the NFC wildcard playoff. Kickoff time will be at 1:30 Pacific, and we'll have more of 49ers Live tomorrow, and we get you ready. We hope to get some people from the Eagles, somebody on there, a former Eagle player, somebody to come on and give their perspective about this wildcard playoff game as the Niners taking on the Philadelphia Eagles, who are beginning their defense of their Super Bowl crown. We will have more tomorrow. Check out the latest news on the 49ers. Go to 49ers.com. For now, I'm Brian Professor B. Davis, and so long. Thank you for watching 49ers Live tonight on NINERS Radio 49. 49ers Live tonight on NINERS Radio 49 is an exclusive presentation of the Satellite Digital Media News Network, where every team has a fan and every fan has a voice. The network home of champions. And we'd just like to say, again, we'd like to wish all of you have a very, very happy New Year. And so take care, everybody. Have a good night.